Imagine finding a single penny in your pocket change that turns out to be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in American numismatics, the 1955 D Mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. You've probably heard rumors online about this coin selling for up to $956,000. But is it true? What makes this coin so special, and should you be checking your change right now? Let's find out now. When most people think of valuable Lincoln pennies, they often think of the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 copper penny. But the 1955D has a story that's just as fascinating and much more misunderstood. First things first, yes, the D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. And yes, there were millions of these pennies made, over 563 million to be exact. So why would one of them ever sell for over $900,000? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the fascinating world of minting errors. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS70 being a perfect mint state coin. Now imagine a coin that's been sitting untouched for decades, no fingerprints, no scratches, no bag marks, basically flawless. One single 1955D penny graded MS67 plus, read by PCG, is sold for over $100,000. And that's not even the most dramatic example. Here's where things get really interesting. There are 1955D pennies with unique doubling errors called RPMs, or repunched mint marks. These errors occur when the mint mark was hand punched onto the coin and shifted slightly between strikes. It creates a ghostly double image on the D mint mark, and collectors go crazy for it. Combine that with a flawless mint state condition, and you've got a penny that's more than just pocket change, it's a treasure. Now let's talk about the monster number, the $956,000 sale. Did that really happen? Technically yes, but with a catch. That price was not for an ordinary 1955D penny. It was a perfect storm of rarity, error, and condition. In fact, it was one of the few specimens graded with exceptional color, luster, and eye appeal. That specific coin sold through a major auction house with intense bidding from collectors who wanted the best of the best. It's not the kind of coin you find under your couch cushion, but it proves what's possible in the world of rare coins. But don't get discouraged. There are still valuable 1955D pennies out there. Even in circulated condition, they can be worth a few dollars depending on their look. But if you happen to come across one in almost perfect shape or with visible doubling on the mint mark, don't spend it. Get it looked at by a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. A $100 grading fee could turn into a 5 or 6 figure payday. So the next time you're going through a jar of old coins or paying for your morning coffee, take a second look. That unassuming penny might just be a hidden gem. It happened before, and it can happen again. Coins like the 1955D are more than just metal, they're time capsules. Each one has a story, and for some the ending is worth nearly $1 million. Curious about more coins that could change your life? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, because we've got more rare finds and unbelievable stories coming your way. Welcome back to the channel, where today we dive deep into the world of coins that might be sitting in your pocket or tucked away in an old drawer and are actually worth a surprising amount of money. If you're into coin collecting, history, or just want to know if you're holding onto a small treasure, then this video is for you. Today we're talking about the 1952D Lincoln penny. That little copper coin with Abraham Lincoln's face on it might be worth more than you think. The 1952 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is why you'll see that small d mint mark right below the date. Over 746 million of these coins were produced that year, making it a common date. But here's the twist: not all of these pennies are created equal. While many are only worth a cent or maybe a few cents in circulated condition, some rare varieties and high-grade examples are selling for much more. So let's start with a little background. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. By 1952, the wheat reverse, also known as wheat ears on the back, was still in use. These are often called wheat pennies by collectors. The obverse, or front, features Lincoln's profile with the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date with the D mint mark below. Now, let's get into the value. If you have a 1952 D Lincoln penny in average circulated condition, meaning it's been used in regular transactions and has visible wear, it's typically worth between 3 to 10 cents. That's not bad for a coin that was once only worth a penny. But if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value jumps significantly. These are coins that were never used in circulation and still retain their original shine and detail. An uncirculated 1952 D penny graded MS63 by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC can be worth anywhere from $3 to $8. If it grades higher, like MS65 or MS66, meaning it has virtually no imperfections under magnification, the value can reach $20 to $50. And here's where it gets interesting. In even higher grades, like MS67 red, the coin becomes incredibly scarce. One of these coins sold for over $1,600 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A 1952 D Lincoln penny, that's a 1-cent coin, sold for over $1,600 because of its grade, its red luster, and the fact that it was preserved so well for more than 70 years. That's what collectors are willing to pay for perfection, but condition isn't the only thing that can raise the value of your coin. You'll also want to look out for errors and varieties. Some 1952 D Lincoln pennies were struck with die errors, like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. These can be hard to spot unless you know what you're looking for, but they can increase the value significantly. A repunched mint mark where the D was stamped more than once can sell for $50 to $200, depending on condition. There are also rare strike-through errors, or a piece of cloth or another object got between the die and the blank planchet during minting. These are rare and can fetch hundreds of dollars from collectors looking for unusual items. So how do you know if your 1952 D penny is worth big money? Step 1 is to check the condition. If the coin is shiny, crisp, and looks almost new, it might be in mint state condition. Compare it to images from grading services or consider sending it to a professional grading company. Step 2 is to look for errors. Use a magnifying glass to examine the date and mint mark closely. Check the details on Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the wheat stalks on the back. Step 3 is to check if your coin has retained its red color. Copper coins tone over time, and many turn brown. A coin labeled red or red-brown will generally have more value than a full brown penny. And finally, Step 4, research recent auction prices. Websites like PCGS, Heritage Auctions, or eBay sold listings can give you a real-time idea of what your coin is currently worth in the market. So to wrap up, the 1952 D Lincoln penny might be common in numbers, but the right condition and the right error can make it a collector's dream. Whether you're searching your coin jar, going through an inherited collection, or simply want to learn more about coin collecting, always keep an eye out for these little copper gems. That penny you ignore today might be worth hundreds, or even over $1,600 tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin updates, and let us know in the comments if you found any interesting coins in your collection. Until next time, happy collecting, and don't forget, always check your change. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector, a history buff, or just someone who loves discovering hidden treasures in everyday pocket change, you're going to love what we're talking about today. We're diving deep into the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny, specifically the ones without a mint mark, and why some of them are worth way more than just 1 cent. Now, before we jump into the value, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during a time when America was experiencing a post-war economic boom. But even though millions of these pennies were produced, not all of them are created equal. If you've ever taken a closer look at one of these pennies, you'll notice Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, or what's called the obverse. It's the same design that's been on the penny since 1909. On the back, you've got the two wheat stalks, which give it the name wheat penny. This design was used from 1909 all the way through 1958. Now here's something that might surprise you. In 1952, over 186 million Lincoln pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and coins from Philly traditionally don't carry a mint mark. So if you find a 1952 penny with no mint mark under the date, that's totally normal and means it came from Philadelphia. But here's the twist. Even though these coins are fairly common, certain versions of the 1952 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth serious money today. And when I say serious, I mean we're talking hundreds and even thousands of dollars. So what makes one of these coins so valuable? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and errors. Let's start with condition. Coin collectors use a grading scale to rate coins, ranging from poor, which is basically beat up and worn out, to mint state, which is a coin that looks like it just came off the press. If you have a 1952 Lincoln penny in uncirculated, mint condition, say graded MS-65 or higher, it can be worth well over $50. And that's just for a basic one with no rare errors, but if you have a high-grade coin with a special feature, that's when we start talking big bucks. There's one 1952 no mint mark Lincoln penny that sold for over $1,600 at auction. Why? Because it was nearly flawless and MS-67 red. That's one of the highest grades you can find for this coin. And the red means it still has its original coppery luster. Most old pennies turn brown over time due to oxidation, so finding one with that full red color is rare and highly desirable. Now let's talk about errors. This is where things get really exciting. Certain 1952 Lincoln pennies have doubling on the date or on the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. These are called doubled die errors, and they're among the most sought after by collectors. If you find one of these in good condition, its value can jump fast. There are also off-center strikes, repunched mint marks. Even though Philadelphia coins don't have a mint mark, there are some mixed-up examples and transitional errors that slipped through. A dramatic enough error can make a common penny worth hundreds, if not thousands. So how do you know if your 1952 penny is valuable? Start by checking the condition. Is the detail on Lincoln's face still sharp? Can you see individual lines in the wheat stalks on the back? Is the coin shiny and red, or is it dark and worn? Next, look for any unusual features. Doubling, misaligned printing, or anything that just doesn't look quite right might be an error coin. And those are the ones collectors pay big money for. If you think you've got something special, you'll want to get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That will give your coin an official grade and help determine its value on the market. Now, let's talk about the current market. As of now, in 2025, a regular circulated 1952 no mint mark penny is worth maybe 5 to 20 cents depending on where. But if it's in higher grades like MS-64 or MS-65 red, it can go for $30 to $80. The real money starts coming in at MS-66 and higher. At that level, prices can jump to $150, $300, even $800. And like I said before, that MS-67 red example? That one sold $4,600. Collectors are always on the hunt for quality examples. So don't underestimate what you've got. Check your old coin jars, check the family change collection, even check the junk drawers. That 1952 penny might just be worth way more than a penny. So what's the takeaway here? While the 1952 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark might seem common at first glance, the right coin, in the right condition or with the right error, could be a serious treasure. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this is one coin you definitely want to keep an eye out for. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins. And if you've got a 1952 penny in your collection, drop a comment below, we'd love to hear about it. See you next time, and happy coin hunting! We're talking about a small, simple coin that could be worth a surprising amount of money. That's right, we're diving into the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, specifically, the no mint mark version, and why it might be worth much more than just 1 cent. Now you might be thinking, how can an old penny from 1950 be worth anything? After all, millions of these coins were made. But not all 1950 pennies are created equal. In fact, depending on its condition, rarity, and specific features, this little copper coin could fetch a nice premium, especially if you know what to look for first. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbol or allegorical design. Victor David Brenner's design on the obverse shows a detailed portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse side features two stalks of wheat encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design stayed in place until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1950 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. Now, here's the important part: if your 1950 Lincoln penny doesn't have a mint mark just below the date, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia minted over 272 million Lincoln pennies in 1950. So yes, these coins are not rare in terms of mintage. But condition is everything. If your coin has been in circulation for decades and shows heavy wear, it might only be worth a few cents to collectors. But if you've got a coin in extremely fine condition, or even better, uncirculated condition, then the value starts to rise. Let's talk numbers. As of today, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark in circulated condition is worth between 5 and 15 cents. Still not much, right? But here's where it gets interesting. A coin in uncirculated, mint state condition, we're talking MS63, MS65 or higher, can be worth significantly more. For example, a 1950 Lincoln penny with no mint mark graded MS65 read by PCGS or NGC can be worth anywhere from $10 to over $35 depending on the market and collector demand. And if it's graded MS67 red, the kind of coin that looks like it just left the mint yesterday, you're looking at potential auction values reaching over $200, but that's not all. If your coin has any kind of error, the value can skyrocket. Some 1950 Lincoln pennies have been found with die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, and even planchet errors. These types of errors make the coin unique and highly desirable among collectors. For example, a 1950 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a strong double die obverse is sold for several $100s depending on condition and appeal. Another thing to watch for is the color of the coin. Collectors grade copper coins as red, red-brown, or brown depending on how much of the original mint luster remains. A red designation is the most valuable because it indicates the coin has retained nearly all of its original copper shine. So if you have a 1950 no mint mark penny that's red and in mint state, you could be holding a coin worth a lot more than you think. Now let's get into the current market. As of today's market value, a top-grade 1950 Lincoln penny with no mint mark can sell for over $200. More commonly, you'll find MS65 red examples selling between $15 and $40 on coin auction sites and marketplaces. And even though the average circulated example might only fetch a few cents, collectors are always on the lookout for better examples to add to their wheat penny sets. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1950 penny? First, examine it closely. Check the date and see if there's a mint mark under the date. If there is none, it's from Philadelphia. Then, look at the condition. Does it have strong details and minimal wear? Does it still have a red copper shine? If so, it might be worth getting professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. You can also compare your coin to photos of high-grade examples online. Look for sharp lines in Lincoln's hair, strong wheat stalk detail on the reverse, and a clean strike overall. Avoid cleaning your coin, as this can drastically reduce its value. So the next time you go through your old change jar, remember that little 1950 no mint mark Lincoln penny might not look like much, but in the right condition, it could be worth a surprising amount of money. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and valuable finds, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post new videos every week uncovering the hidden history in your pocket. Have a coin you want us to feature? Drop a comment below. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep searching for treasure. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding a single penny in your change jar that could make you nearly a millionaire. It sounds like a dream, but it happened. A 1941 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark was once valued at over $956,000. Yes, one copper coin, 1 cent, almost $1 million. Let me explain why this isn't just pocket change. This is history in your hands. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever. Discover the 1941 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. How much is yours worth? What makes it special? And how can you tell if you're sitting on a gold mine? The 1941 penny was minted in 3 places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but the no mint mark version means it was made in Philadelphia. Millions were produced there, so why is one worth over $950,000? Let's break it down. First, not all 1941 pennies are valuable. In fact, most are worth 1 to 10 cents, but the rare ones, the jaw dropping 6-figure ones, have something different. It could be a minting error, a doubled die, a unique strike, an off-center punch, or an incredibly rare high-grade example. Graded MS68 or above. MS means mint state, a grade that tells how perfect the coin is. The scale goes up to 70, and anything over 66 is considered museum quality. In 2019, one pristine 1941 no mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS68 plus red sold for over $956,000 at auction. Why? Because it was nearly flawless bright copper red, no scratches, no blemishes, an almost perfect survivor from over 80 years ago. So how do you know if your 1941 penny is worth anything? First, check the date. If it says 1941 and there's no small letter below the date, you've got a Philadelphia mint. Second, check the color. Red is best, red. Brown is next, brown is common. Third, condition, no scratches, no wear, a shiny surface. The cleaner and sharper the coin, the more it's worth. Fourth, errors, look for doubling on the numbers or letters, strikes that are off center, or any unusual marks. Lastly, consider grading. Professional grading from services like PCGS or NGC can unlock the real value. Yes, it costs a little money, but it could turn your penny into a payday. So next time you're digging through your change, look twice. That 1941 penny might be more than a coin, it might be a treasure. Almost $1 million from a single cent. It's not just luck, it's knowing what to look for. If you learned something today, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin secrets, and remember, your fortune might already be in your pocket.